The honourable member from Brantford Brent.
The explosive Auditor General's report proves that the Prime Minister is not worth the cost and corruption. This NDP-Liberal government knew conflict of interest policies weren't being followed, and wait for it, did absolutely nothing. $76 million greenlit by Liberal-appointed directors, never to be seen again. Canadians deserve so much better. If the minister knew about these conflicts, why didn't he take his job seriously and fire the directors?
The Honourable Minister for Innovation.
Mr. Speaker, I actually welcome the question from the member because it seems that they have not really listened, Mr. Speaker. The moment we heard of allegation, we launched the investigation when they were asleep, Mr. Speaker. We launched the investigation by Raymond Chabot, Grant Thornton, and McCarthy Tétrault. And once we have that, we suspended funding to the organization. The chair of the board and the CEO resigned. We demanded an action plan by management, Mr. Speaker. We are committed to restore the funding to the firms. We are committed to have more governance, and we are committed to ensure that there will be trust in a new organization, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
The honourable member from South Shore, St. Margaret's.
The minister did nothing for 48 months, even though he had officials sitting in the meetings. And the Auditor General's explosive report on the NDP-Liberal Green Slush Fund shows the personal friends of the Prime Minister funneled obscene amounts of money into their own pockets. The Auditor General confirmed that an incredible 186 times, almost half of all the Green Slush Fund projects, Liberal swindlers voted themselves hundreds of millions of dollars of taxpayer money to their companies. Will the Prime Minister call in the police and make these Liberal swindlers pay back this money?
The Honourable Minister for Innovation.
Mr. Speaker, it seems that there were a lot of people on this side slipping at the switch, Mr. Speaker. What I've said is very clear. We received allegation and we investigated, Mr. Speaker. We investigated. We made sure that we would go to the bottom of this. We suspended the funding to the organization. The chair of the board and the CEO resigned. We made sure that there would be a management plan in place, Mr. Speaker. We want to restore confidence. We expect everyone to adhere by the highest governance. And that's why, Mr. Speaker, we're proposing a new model of governance that will make sure that public fund is dispersed and with the level of governance that all Canadians expect.
The Honourable Member for Lévis-Lotbinière. Mr. Speaker, after 9 years of this Liberal NDP bloc government that isn't worth the cost and the corruption, the Auditor General tells us that the Sustainable Development Canada programme violated its conflict of interest policies 90 times and awarded $59 million to 10 projects that weren't even eligible. Mr. Speaker, another deficient government from the Liberal government. Why is this government not vigilant and why does it endorse this waste of money? The Honourable Minister for Innovation. Mr. Speaker, it's the member for Lévis that's suddenly waking up. As I said, Mr. Speaker, we received allegations in February 2023. In March 2023, we launched an investigation into an organisation that was created independently 20 years ago. And then the report was submitted by a lawyer's office. We took the measures necessary. We suspended the funding, Mr. Speaker. The president of the board of directors resigned, and we will be here to restore confidence and make sure that our SMEs can receive money. The Honourable Member for Lévis-Lotbinière. Mr. Speaker, this minister is sleeping at the wheel. The Auditor General has discovered that $76 million in funding has been granted to projects with ties to Liberal cronies. Greasing the palms and enriching Liberal cronies is blatantly unethical and irresponsible. Yet another scandal. Mr. Speaker, why are conflict of interest and money for friends so commonplace with this Liberal government? The Honourable Minister for Innovation. Mr. Speaker, we can all recognise that the member for Lévis is a great actor, but the reality of the matter is simple. I'll say it and I'll say it again so that everyone can allow it to percolate. The integrity is the most important thing for us, Mr. Speaker, and that is the reason for which, when we received allegations, we launched an investigation. We made sure that funds were suspended until we got the conclusions of this investigation. The head of the organisation resigned. The head of the board of directors resigned. We are proposing a new governance model in order to restore trust and make sure that we can support SMEs that are in green technology, Mr. Speaker.